Hello everybody, this is week number 9 and it's Friday. So let's see what we had during this week. So this is actually a list of issues what I'm making for myself, and here's a list of commits. Last Friday it was May 8th, so let's scroll down. May 9, and I started new game, and the code name for the game, The Dream of Bells. Just was doing some reorganization, and I noticed I'm using some of code of some of libraries quite often, so I moved InkBean library to folder. What the folder name? Third party. As you can see, it's symlink now, so it's not the real file symlink. And I did this thing for InkBean, for STB image, also for STB Vorbis. So STB image for loading images, and STB Vorbis for loading OGG files. And there is a skeleton template for the new game. There is application and class, application class, which has graph engine and the game screen, and current screen pointer points to game screen. There is a loop which is handling only quit event, and inside the loop I'm doing drawing for current screen, and there is a setup for graph engine and finalization for graph engine, like every time. Basically here I just clearing the screen and setting colors, and here is it flashing everything to the background screen and swapping two buffers. This is the class, and you can see graph engine, game screen, and pointer to current screen. So this is for game screen, and inside the draw nothing, and I'm setting up pointer to application, and screen is going to care base class. Screen is going to care pointer to application, or it's actually not a pointer, it's reference. This is for game screen, it's derived from screen, constructor, and method draw. I made the generic include for OpenGL, because for different platforms I need to use different includes for some reason. I don't know whom to blame. And graph engine. So in the graph engine I set up the graphics. So and also it's doing init SDL init. Actually, I think it's fine to do it in graph engine. I need to do this thing once, so I think it's fine. Then getting different display modes. Actually, first display mode, and then setting width and height based on this information. Otherwise, if it's like for my Linux box, I just setting up hard-coded resolution, so it will run in window mode. So create window, create renderer, and that's it. And in destructor SDL quit. So as I mentioned in begin, I'm setting up viewport, OpenGL viewport for width and height, and setting color. I decided to use kind of blue, light blue color, and run clean for screen. And in the end, it's just swapping buffers. So this is header file for graph engine, constructor, destructor, begin, and width, height. And there is a different members. So InkBean I get from third party, and main. Inside the main it just run for execute application and run the infinite loop for application. Screen class, there is a in constructor setting up application, reference to application, and only one method for drawing. Also, I included sprites. So for including sprites, I'm embedding all binaries in the executable. So I'm using library IncBin, and its usage, it's like this. So IncBin, the name and the path to binary, and name afterwards becomes G sprite PNG data. It's a pointer to array of chars, assigned char star, and then G sprite PNG size, it's a number of bytes in the file. So this is my sprites. For now it's 16 commands to I'm thinking as a character I will use cars, so it's commands to cars, and there is some minor refactoring for Maxwell. I realized I do not need destructor, so I removed it. Also some formatting fixing, and renaming member variables. It's didn't have underscore, now it has. Moving IncBin to third party, and also cleaning up main. This code actually is not in use, so I just removed it. And this is third party folder. There is all these files here. That's it for first commit. Then implement sprite drawing. So I did similar thing with matrix 4x4, and I made the common. Because it's not third-party library, I wrote it by myself, so I moved it to common. Matrix 4x4. Matrix 4x4, it's a class, and it's a matrix 4 elements in row and 4 elements in column, and there is several operations implemented. Basically, multiply operation, translate, scale, and rotate operation. And this is it's not operation, it's a matrix. It returns translate matrix, scale matrix, and rotate matrix. So it's in common. I decided to make graph engine public, so I moved it from private to public, and I draw several sprites in game screen, 3 actually. And in graph engine I populated coordinates for sprites, like there is a nope, and there is a x, y, x, y, turn right, x, y, x, y, turn left, x, y, x, y, turn right if upper right corner equal with card what car holding, and so on. There is a check for GL errors, and this code actually duplicating in. Probably I need to move this thing to common as well. Load textures, also duplicated. So loading from memory. This is DB library. Then generate texture. Then load data from memory, raw data from memory to open GL engine. And set the scaling filter for scale up and scale down linear, and after this I can free pointer to raw data in memory. So there is a function for compiling programs, create shader, set the source to shader, it's a vertex which I'm passing here, size, how did I know size? Because this thing is just a text ending with 0, so it just strlen size. Compile shader, and checking for status. If there is errors, it reports about errors. And then fragment shader, exactly same thing. Then linking program, attach shader, vertex shader, fragment shader, link, checking for errors, and return program name, handle to program. So here's it. I'm loading vertex sprite, sprite vertex, and sprite fragment. And also I'm loading data from the sprite coordinates to internal array. The reason is to make lookup faster, just some sort of caching. And load texture, we already discussed this function. And there is a method for drawing sprites. So binding texture to sprite texture, getting the sprite. So we saw the sprite list, and inside the S it's like XY coordinates. So setting the variables inside the shaders, so position, texture, projection matrix, and texture coordinates. Right, so this is 4x4. No, it's not 4x4 matrix, it's an array of vertices. So this is XY, it's vertex coordinate, and this is texture coordinate. And texture coordinate I'm getting from my sprite sheet. I don't know why. I think 0.5 I got because of in the shader I'm normalizing coordinates and making it from 0 to 512, and my sprite sheet actually 1024 by 1024, so I need to divide by 2. Probably I need to fix it, so this thing would not give to us questions why 0.5. Matrix uniform, so saying texture uniform, so I do not understand. So I'm setting matrix, then setting 0, then I setting position and pointer to vertices array, texture coordinates pointer to also to vertices array, but offset +2, right? Enable vertices array position, text coordinate, and draw array, and every time check for GL errors. So inside the graph engine, I'm setting the types of sprites. It's no right, left, so on. And this is a nodes for bells. Method draw sprite, sprite program, list of sprites, and handle to sprite texture. Move matrix 4x4, matrix 4x4, and this is shaders, and I'm using the feature of C++11, it's a raw strings, and this is a program for vertex shaders, so you can see it's divided by 512 for text coordinates. There is a tool for sprite fragments. I am quite not understand why I need to use 2 versions. There is a difference, it's like precision, so for some reason iPhone requires this thing, precision, and varying, like declaring it's like this. I don't know. So in colors, we're just getting this color from texture without any processing. So pointers to shaders, pointers to const char star. Move matrix from Maxwell to common. Move header file from matrix. That's it. So what next? 2D program drawing. So now there is a sort of level. I didn't know how to call this thing, so for now I'm calling it program because it's sort of a 2D program, and put coding like it's turn left, turn right, turn left if, turn right if. There is a bells, there is increment, decrement, and this thing it's in and out, it's just copying cards, and function load. So inside the draw I'm iterating through the 2D program, let's call it like this, and just drawing it. So I'm getting sprite type and then draw sprite, in game screen program, and this is class program. So it has operator which takes x and y and returns command. It has width and height, and inside the load it's setting width and height. So height is number of strings, and width it's a maximum width from the strings, because strings might be, and you know, I kind of screwed, because if the length of string is different, it would crash. So probably I need to use minimum, or I need to check every time here if x greater than length of the string. For now it's fine, like when it's crashed I will fix it. So when just setting the values, right? So for space I set nope, for turn right right, for left left, for right if this thing, and so on. And there is this thing kind of bothers me because it's duplicating everywhere. There is a this setup, then in the textural representation it's like this, right? And also sprites has this thing, but I think it's fine. So I just add the text code project. It's my standard with butterfly thing. Nothing to see, it's just Xcode garbage. There is one sprite who had the issue, and also I logged finger movements, and instead of hard-coded values I'm using scale and offset. So I'm thinking to make the map scaling and move, of course move variables, and this is the fix for right if. So I put 512 instead of here here, so I fixed it. I implemented my map movement, so in the application handlers for finger down, finger up, finger motion, and finger multi-gesture. Also I added the method tick, and because in the future if application in background mode I will not run this thing, so I want to separate drawment and calculation. Or for tick probably I will need more, I don't know, probably I will not. Anyway, so probably I will combine it back, who knows. So there is a handler for finger down, so I get tick and set, then I'm holding finger on the screen, inertia disabled, like there is no movement. Then I finger up, inertia set and true, so like screen will move little bit after I release the finger. And inside the finger motion I'm calculating the average speed, how I move the map, and setting up sets. Did not do multi-gesture for now, so multi-gesture is for zooming in and zooming out. And inside the tick it's implementing for inertia, so if inertia it's moving, and like if speed become lower than some threshold, it's just stop moving. Finger down, finger up, motion, multi-gesture, and tick. And some of screens probably will not handle this thing, so I did not make them pure virtual. So I just put empty implementation for all of this. That's it. And there is some fixes. First of all, it's for mouse things, like because on iOS it's actually duplicating fingers and mouses. Like then I do fingers, so I'm getting two events, and because of this I was processing it twice, which is using up CPU and actually makes some calculation wrong. And after finger up I did some also calculations. I'm not sure, for some reason it was helping. I didn't think through why. And tweak the speed of inertia, I make it slower. Let's see, I tested it only on iPhone, I never tested on Linux, so this is for first time. Let's see how it's going to work. Probably you can hear in background how it's raining. It's not usual in California to have rain. So this is the map, this is like things, and I can move this thing, and let's see how inertia is going to work. Yeah, it's working. That's it, not too much. I didn't have too many times for programming, so but there is some progress. Let's go and see statistics. It's not very good for I kind of frustrated with all this big inertia and like view are not increasing very well. Analytics, last 7 days, 28 views, 0 likes. This is all my shares and 2 subscribers. Yeah, at least there is some subscribers. It's good. Also Maxwell, Entropy on App Store. Let's go to my blog and I made the post, so you can try it. It's not very expensive. It's 99 cents. Let me show you how it's selling. iTunes Connect. So sell and trends. So for last 7 days, 8 units for Maxwell Entropy and 1 for Bus Perfect, which is better than before. at least a positive trend. It's not millions of dollars. And by the way, if you want, I can give you some promotion codes and ask how much do you want, if you want to share it with your friends. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe, like and share this video. Hopefully see you next Friday. Goodbye.